Welcome to Night Shadows. I'm Stewart Best, where the paranormal is normal, where that which you thought you knew, you didn't, and where the future can be known if you know exactly where to look.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and I did list this as an emergency sort of a broadcast. We've got Larry on the phone down south. Hi, Larry.
Hey, Stewart.
It appears that, now here's a tweet from Trump, 52 sites in Iran will be hit very fast and very hard if Iran attacks America. Well, according to what we're getting out of Hal Turner and others, it appears those attacks are actually on. Is that true? From what you can gather, Larry?
Well, that's true. From what I can gather, it's not directly Iran attacking them, but then again, it is. It's their proxies. And
yes.
So, I don't know how close Trump is going to go with the wording.
Well, what is going on over there as far as you can determine? I've got a headline here. Iran vows to hit 35 U.S. targets and unfurls a red flag of war as America says it expects retaliation within weeks. Well, it appears to me that they're already retaliating. So where do we go from here, do you think? What have you got collected?
Yeah, the attacks begin on U.S. bases pretty quick. Here's Hal Turner's latest. Says under attack, said U.S. bases under attack by pro-Iranian militia groups inside Iraq. Says number one, rocket attack against U.S. Embassy, Green Zone, Baghdad. Number two, second attack on U.S. Air Base at Balad. Third attack, Kenda Base in Iraq. Fourth attack going on at Nineveh Command. And also they're reporting now that the Iraqi presidential palace is under mortar attack. Also being reported is Canadian military camp at Mosul under attack there. And also a report just came out, Hal Turner breaking, Iraq Hezbollah are attacking all U.S. bases at the present time.
Wow. So the war definitely appears to be on. Here's another one from Turner. And, folks, he claims, this is all confirmed, so I'm going to assume that it is. That's a dangerous word sometimes. But, okay, it says Americans should immediately leave the following countries. They are issuing warnings. It says American citizens should immediately leave the following countries. Israel. Well, that's an interesting one to leave because something's going on over there. Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Turkey, Oman, Pakistan. Stop what you're doing, pack a bag, and go. Planes would be best, but if unavailable, take a land route out. Iranian military forces are actively preparing more than 16,000 missiles for launching, presumably against military bases in the region. Well, Larry, this could escalate extremely rapidly if it hasn't already.
Well, that's very true, Stewart, and we know that Israel is expecting them to focus on trying to destroy Tel Aviv. Also, Hezbollah, all of those missiles, that's almost 200,000 missiles that they've got to fire. This is very, very dangerous. As a matter of fact, it's become dangerous for Americans in Israel, which you know good and well. There's a lot of them there.
Yeah.
What we are getting some scattered reports, though, that I cannot confirm, but I'll give it anyway, indicating that we have B-52 bombers now over Syria bombing Iranian locations.
Wow. Well, if that's true, then the war definitely is on, and Iran is not going to have any options. They're going to have to go forth and do Daniel 8. That's the way. At least that's the way it appears, right?
Now,
I would think.
Yeah. Another thing you mentioned, Stewart, was the fact that, and there's a picture of it on my blog today, or you can go to Drudge Report or Hal Turner, either one, and there, for the first time in many, many years, Iran has raised a special red flag over their mosques, and that flag is reportedly, according to Hal Turner's information, it's a flag of doom, devastation, and warfare. Now, that sounds like to me they're about to move to bring the Mahdi, is what it sounds like to me. I don't know that, but here's some headlines, too, real quick. It says, red flag warning raised in Iran mosques, Strait of Hormuz in focus, Middle East hornet's nest, severe battle to come, fear of cyber attacks, terror fears in the USA. And so right there, they are warning us in the U.S., you know, there's certain sources, and I actually saw one a while ago and forwarded it to you from Law Enforcement Today magazine, that they're expecting the terror cells to become activated inside the U.S.
Yeah, and we know there are plenty of them in here. We also know there are Russian Spetsnaz troops in here. We also know that there are probably suitcase nukes in America that have been there for a long, long time. And I got a headline here. It's part of Turner. U.S. ships on the Iran hit list. Our carrier groups. Maybe we've got weapons of retaliation or defense we don't know about. How in the world would a carrier group defend against 1,000 Iranian small boats with high-speed missiles on them?
Well, I don't know, Stuart, but I sent you a video earlier today, a prophetic warning about someone else that had an experience about the Abraham Lincoln task force being attacked and the carrier being sunk over there.
Oh, really? I didn't get a chance. I was out today, so I didn't get a chance. So this is a secondary vision then of a sinking of our carrier. Wow.
Right.
Well, I guess if I was Iran, because these carriers are so powerful and they have so much air power, that would be a military target right away. That would be a military target. News came as Iranian military leader said his force had pinpointed dozens of U.S. interests for attack, including destroyers and warships near the Persian Gulf and Tel Aviv. The general warned of a possible attack on vital American targets located in the Strait of Hormuz in retaliation of Soleimani's death. Vital American targets in the region have been identified by Iran since long time ago. 35 U.S. targets in the region, as well as Tel Aviv, are within our reach. So, this does not sound good, does it?
No, and what I'm wondering, Stewart, is if by chance, because not only was Soleimani the number 2 man or the most powerful second man in Iran and other parts of the world, did he have a dead hand switch? In other words, did he have a backup plan if he was killed to retaliate himself?
I would think he would. He was very intelligent. I don't think people, well, you know, we have a tendency to underestimate. It's like Putin. You know, people think, and they did the same thing with Obama. Well, Obama's stupid. He doesn't know what he's doing. To the contrary, he knew exactly what he was doing. Trump is the same way. So what we've got here really is highly intelligent people that have all the toys of war. And this could accelerate so rapidly. Now, this article you sent up, and I'd like to spend a little time on this, folks that are listening, and spread this to your families as well. Let them roll their eyes. But with what's going on, and we know there are sleeper cells in America, There's absolutely no question about it. Former Secret Service CIA agent issues a warning. Prepare for Iran's sleeper cells to strike rural America. What he's talking about are your smaller towns, your smaller cities. And there was a vision from a person up here in Wisconsin. And the vision was about the big, over in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And suddenly, out of nowhere, appeared these pickups with these big weapons that are attached. You've seen those, I think, probably in videos and whatnot over in Iran and those areas where they drive these pickups that have these mounted weapons on the back. That's what this vision was about. And they started killing everybody and going into the mall, the big super mall over there. And, they're going to, this is rural America because Eau Claire is not really a very big city. And it would have such an impact psychologically to hit these kind of areas. The other thing that you want to watch for, and I'm just warning everybody, you're going to, and Larry, as a police officer and whatnot for a long time, what do people need to be watchful for? I would think overpasses on the internet, on the interstates or major highways, they could do all kinds of damage. And I definitely wouldn't be going into these major cities for a while. What do you think?
Yeah, and well, I think one of the things that Hal Turner posted, which is really relevant, it says civilian war preps. Get prepared now. Don't wait. Civilians USA prep for terror attacks on bus, train, air, highway bridges, railroads, oil and gas pipelines, and public water supplies. Now, that's a big mouthful, Stewart.
Yeah, and they've got this all planned out, and I hate to say it, but I think it's all combined. I think what's going on in the Middle East is combined with what's going on in Virginia. It's combined with the stuff that I gave to you folks out there on our last radio show about State Department Document 7277, which is giving the armaments and disarming the American people over to the United Nations. And I read to you the UN Chapter 7, part of the charter of how they can come into the United States in case of a war, and in case of we have unrest or whatever it is here in America. We go under UN rule, and Donald Trump has not been able to stop any of this. So it's just a word to the wise. If you need water, you can't live very long without water. Fill your bathtub, whatever. Your laundry sinks, that sort of thing, and really curtail stuff. We're probably headed into a battle. What do you think, Larry? I think this is coming real quick.
Well, one thing you're going to be aware of real quick is that police departments cannot go up against terrorist-mounted 50 caliber weapons, the kind they use in warfare. So when you dial 911, they're not going to come, and they're not going to be able to handle them if they do. So people are going to have to take security into their own hands and use their eyes and ears and nose and stay aware.
Very aware. Anyway, very deadly stuff, but it's right on time, I think. I think the timing of this is very, very suspicious. And it all ties together, and I think we're going to find out exactly how it ties together. Probably, if this thing keeps it mushrooming like it is, we're going to be in trouble over the weekend yet. So, anyway, thanks a lot, Larry, for coming on and briefing, and we will be back as soon as we get any more news. So stay tuned. And thanks, everyone, for listening. Night.